I'm in my Flashback Friday feelings right now. How you figure, you ask? Well, let me tell you. So years ago, before I was even doing podcasts, I wrote a blog piece on teams in the NBA whose season is basically over before we even get close to the All-Star break. But I broke it down to a city where all these teams reside, a place called Tank City. In Tank City, the school systems aren't the best. There's only strip malls. The crime rate is high. All the banks close at 4 p.m. And the NBA teams that live here are either leasing or buying. So with that said, I bring on Julian, a.k.a. Jules Commish, as we discuss and decide which of these bottom-feeding squads should be renting out for a stopgap or getting a 30-year mortgage. Plus, you share who our all-star starters should be based on their play and not their popularity. South Sharav is always available wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Hit the like button and click all the stars you see, especially if you listen on Apple Podcasts. Because in the illustrious words of Smokey, it's Friday, and you ain't got shit else to do. Check out SouthShoreAve.com to check out my entire catalog. Once again, that's SouthShoreAve.com. I also have a new episode of The Stoop tomorrow on the South Shore Ave YouTube channel. And I got a new episode of My Story dropping next week Friday as well. But I'll share those details later on in the show. Let's get started. It's the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio. Man, Tank City even got bodegas? Look at that.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast. My guest today is a South Shore Ave family member, and he's now commissioning, how much did you say, like 32 leagues across the 4 sports now because, COVID's shut down some leagues, I'm sure?
Nah, man. I cut that down, man. Like during my COVID time, I cut that down. I'm all into the stock games right now, man. I'm into stocks. No more fantasy.
Oh wow.
No. No more commissioning fantasy.
Oh wow. So we almost have to change the name from Jules Commish to Jules GameStop. Jules Robin Hood, we gotta call you now.
Something like that.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julian, aka Jules Commish, to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, let's start this thing, man. The concept is Tank City. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to be talking about teams that are looking to or should be tanking, or their season's already over. So we're going to get into those teams now. Who's going to be looking to lease or rent, in Tank City for the year or so, or should they be buying property for the next few years because they're going to be there for a while? Without further ado, man, let's get into it. Let me see here. Let's start off with the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Are they looking to lease or buy property?
Man, they are. So when again, I'm gonna get confused. You're talking about, are they gonna be looking to be buying property out of the hood? They're gonna be moving up.
Are they well, basically, are they gonna be leasing or buying property in Tank City?
Oh man. Oh, I got you now. Oh, the Timberwolves. You know what? They're gonna be buying. They're going to be buying. They're going to be permanent. They're going to be looking for some permanent status. I do like Edwards, though. I do like, in the early going, I didn't think he was worthy. He was first overall, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think he was worthy of it, but I thought it was a weak draft. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. That said, I don't like anybody else right now. I don't like Russell right now, how he's looking. I thought he would have a greater impact. Cat, I thought he's been sick with the COVID and whatnot, and a lot of things going on off the court, but I don't think he's that franchise guy anymore. Those are some heavy takes I'm saying right now, calling out Russell and Cat, but I don't like what I'm seeing in terms of their future right now. And Culver was oh man, they expected much more than what they're getting out of him.
I never liked Culver in college, coming out of college. No, I wasn't a fan. I didn't understand the hype with him. So seeing what I'm seeing here, I'm not saying he's not going to be an NBA or not worthy of being an NBA player, but I just from what I saw him at Texas Tech, I was just okay. Like I just wasn't seeing anything like, like everybody was blown away by like his measurables and all that stuff. I'm just like, all right, because I'm like anytime just watching the games, it just he never there wasn't a game I watched from Culver when he was in college where he blew me away.
So I wonder where all that hype came from then. I
don't know. I mean, I'm just saying this. I'm not saying I watched every single game, mind you, but I'm just saying the stuff that I saw, I was just like, to me, I wasn't really that impressed. But I know what you're saying, though. I mean, he got drafted 5th overall or 6th overall. So, the expectations for him is pretty high.
When you're trying to get out of the ghetto and you want to move on up into better pastures and be a playoff team, those draft picks are important on who you select. Like, they can make or break you for another, 3 more years, 4 more years. Mm-hmm. So that's where management, scouting team, they have a huge impact on your franchise. If they're making these poor selections and poor trades and whatnot, you're going to be stuck for a while, man.
So is Tank City the hood? Are we gonna?
Sorry.
Is it the hood? I'm trying to figure out. Is it in a decent area? Is it like the area is not really great? Like, should they have a bunch of alarm systems, multiple locks? Like
location.
It's not near water. It's not near water at a highway.
No. They're near a set of train tracks right now.
They're by the factories.
By the factories, man.
It's very loud. It's very loud. That's sulfur mill, I tell you, man. It's not. It's not good for your health. No, it's like, look, they have the worst record in the NBA so far. As of this recording, they're 7-21.
Do they? Wow.
But I mean, the thing with them too is, and I agree with you. They not only should they be looking to buy, they should be looking for like a detached home, 3,000 square feet. Just looking to raise a family for a few years and then maybe pass it along to generations down the road. Like that's to me, that's how far gone they are right now. I think like it's the crazy thing with them is like, and this is why I think they need to buy this detached house and really set up is you look at their drafting right now. Like they drafted Edwards, good draft pick. He's a solid player. He's going to be good. Like he's going to be a really
he looks
good.
He looks good.
With that said though, this upcoming draft class, I mean, I haven't really investigated it too deeply yet, but it's supposed to be a pretty good draft class, and their pick is only top 3 protected. So anything below the top 3, Golden State gets it.
Wow.
And if they actually fall into the top 3 this year, then next year in the 22 draft, Golden State gets their pick outright. There's no protection; they get it outright. And I think next year's class is supposed to be really good.
Wow.
So I don't know why. Like I don't know why they set themselves up like this. Honestly, there's a strong possibility the Warriors may have fleeced them. Really,
or played the emotions of Williams and D'Angelo. That whole relationship that they have, right? So,
Towns, you mean?
Sorry, Towns. I keep saying Williams. Sorry. Karl Anthony Towns, him and D'Angelo are close, and he probably, the management probably heard him out, listened to his pleas, and made the deal, right? So it's I like D'Angelo Russell. He's I think you can build a team around him. I just don't see it happening right now, like with the players that he has around him right now.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Golden State's situation with them, like. They both drafted good rookies because I'm a huge fan of I'm on the James Wiseman bus right now.
I am too. I am as well.
I am all in. Yeah, I don't know where you are if you're in the front seat. I'm in the front seat. Like you might be in the front seat with me. I don't know, but I'm in the first 2 rows. Like I am as well. In. Yeah, I'm all in. But like after this happens now, like again. You can actually, within the next two years, you can actually put another stud besides Stephen, Clay, and Draymond, plus Wiseman, and even Wiggins if they decide to keep him. Because Wiggins has been playing well this year. I don't know, man, but it's just I look at Minnesota, and it's just they got talent on their team, but they just look like they're going nowhere right now.
Nowhere.
Because Cat, like, the team's not going to win unless he improves on his leadership, to be honest with you. And
yeah.
Because they try to accommodate him, but as a franchise guy, as you said, to get Russell. But really and truly, I didn't even realize this till today. They've only played 5 games together since Russell's
really
there. Yeah. So we're still unsure if they even match up well to build around.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're still unsure if they even match up well to build around. Yeah. Yeah, so we're still unsure if they even match up well to build around. Yeah. Yeah, so we're still unsure if they even match up well to build around. Yeah. Yeah, so we're still unsure if they even match up well to build around.
Well, let me take. You mean 5 games this year?
No,
Total.
5 games period.
Well,
Since he's
okay.
been
So
traded.
let me take a step back then. Let me give them a chance then in terms of to see where this goes. But I didn't know it was only 5 games. That's not a fair amount of games to assess them in terms of their future.
True, but I still say they're buying though.
Yeah. I do, but I was harsh. Like I was like firm on that. But let me give them a little bit of a chance now.
Yeah, I just think you just have to see how they build, and then with Cat, like, who knows? In the next couple of years, he might get fed up and may want to leave if they don't improve. But I think that a lot of the improvements going to be with him because I think it's funny after that whole thing with Jimmy Butler. Not to we always refer back to that when we talk about Minnesota, but it actually removed stripes off his reputation, man. Like I don't think he's fully recovered.
Yeah,
from it,
as you said. Like I don't think he's ready to be that leader off the floor, off the court, on the court type of guy, like franchise cornerstone guy.
Yeah.
And that might have, definitely affected him. It still has, obviously. And again, his personal life, right? He's been through a lot.
Oh, no,
too,
absolutely. Like, this year's a wash.
It's hard to lead when you're in grief or there's so many things happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. This year, honestly, is a wash anyway.
What do you have, like a car accident? Family members die. He had COVID.
Yeah.
Like, shoot. Got to be fair, man. Yeah, have to be fair in terms. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I still say they're buying.
Hey, numbers don't lie, so yeah.
No, they're still buying. All right, so with that said, now let's move on to I guess the next team I have here on the list is OKC. Should they be leasing or should they be buying?
You know what? They should be leasing. You know why? Of all those draft picks, they have an opportunity or chance to get better and to find that franchise player, or if not all-star player or whatnot. So they have opportunities like in the upcoming future to be better. Right. So that alone, like even, to be honest too, like although their record is pretty poor, what is it, like 11-16 or something like that, they are still winning more games than I thought they wouldn't be winning any games. Like I didn't think that that starting five is not NBA starting five in my eyes. But they work hard. They work hard, and they're grinding out some wins. So that's going to help in terms of them going towards the future and not changing the culture and whatnot with that grind type effort.
I agree. Once again, I think they should lease, and I think they should find a nice condo with like the proper amenities, and just honestly, because of all the draft picks that they own for the future, they should get nothing lower than the 25th floor so they can overlook Tank City, as the future's bright. You know what I mean?
I would be fine with that, man. If they want to go do that, man, I think they are in a position where they can get a condo with some nice amenities.
Yeah.
A 1-year lease condo in the we won't say in the hood, but
yeah, I mean the sulfur mill there's going to be tough, but but the nice weight room, you know what I mean? There might be a pool. I don't know if there'll be a pool because that might be too much for a Tank City condo, but but a nice gym, you know what I mean? Maybe a little sauna action, one of those things. Maybe a game room,
theater, game room, golf. You got those like 3D golf, like. Anyhow, and like a 3-year lease only.
Yeah, because they own 17 first-round picks over the next 6 years, including this year. So it's crazy. Let me go to the phone. Let me go to the screenshot I have here because it's pretty crazy how far the amount of picks that they own. I just want to just be absolute sure here. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. So this year they have Denver's pick and they have sorry, that was last year. Sorry. So they have two, the more favorable out of the two of their own, Miami and Houston's pick. So it could be anywhere from 5 to 30.
Whoa.
They own their own pick in 2022, plus the Clippers, plus Phoenix's pick. 2023, they own their own pick plus the Clippers swap, so they can swap picks with the Clippers, and then once again with Miami. 2024, they own the Clippers pick, their own pick, and Houston's pick. 2025, they own their own pick, Phillies pick. They could swap with Houston or LA, the Clippers once again. And then 2026, they own the Clippers pick, Houston's pick, and their own pick.
Man, they got those Houston picks are going to be gold.
Oh my God. Because they're another team. They may pop up on this list, but yeah, like I agree. Like that's a situation where the team they're in a weird position right now. You know what I mean? Like their team is in a bit of a flux as well. As older guys are coming off injuries, the future for them is bright because they're going to be able to move some of those in order to get some better players.
Exactly. Sure. That was going to be my point. Like they have assets that you could trade away for pieces. Mm-hmm. And once they have like 2 or 3, good solid picks, draft picks that they select, then they can trade away those other pieces if they see their team on the cusp of making playoffs or if they want some veteran leadership and whatnot. So They got options, man. They got options.
So, I mean, to speak to how they're playing this season, I think that whole thing with CP3 coming there last year, I think he injected some of his character into that team. Yeah. So I think it's kind of helping, especially the younger players. It's really helped them going forward because right now their current assets is SGA, I would say Darius Baisley and Dort. And they're all under rookie contracts, so it's instilled a certain mentality where they're capable of doing more. And then you kind of have, you have Al Horford, you have George Hill, so that it kind of maintains that professionalism in the locker room too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a great point on the impact of CP3 in that 1 year. They also had a great season.
Yeah.
Right? And the bubble, whatever you want to call it, and where they had a taste of winning. And who would have thought like 1 year of CP3 could catapult you into a better rebuild or a faster rebuild? Because he definitely affected their mindset going forward. Yeah. So you're right. Agreed. Yeah.
It's kind of, we kind of saw it here, right? Because with Kawhi, when Kawhi came that 1 year and left, but afterwards, like it changed Kyle Lowry. Like Kyle Lowry no longer is a guy that's looking to choke in games and stuff. Where you're like, oh my God, like how is this guy going to play? Like you can at least count on his performance being very solid, at least going forward, even if his shot is off. And I'm pertaining more so to last year because last year the way they came out, it was like they definitely had that Kawhi DNA rub off on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, and it just highlights again the importance of having a solid veteran presence in your rebuild.
Yeah,
right. Because a lot of times these owners or GMs, they just like rebuild around pure youth, or they have one vet. But you realize how important it is to if you want that rebuild to work or to happen faster, you got to have some vets to set the tone and create a culture and show the grind, how to grind and all that, because the impact of what we saw with OKC shows you the need. And again, like the teams like Minnesota, and I think those guys are missing like those two like veteran solid starters, players, right? That's what they're missing.
Yeah,
they don't have like Cat isn't that guy yet, right? Not a guy that is going to garner respect from. You're like from other teams and your own team. So, yeah, I just wanted to highlight that the importance of vets on a rebuild team.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because you look at somebody like a Cat, like he's a young guy. He has to be. I don't think he's older than like 25, or maybe like 25, 26 at most. But at the same time, he's been in the league. This is his 6th year. So at certain points, like certain habits are starting to starting to harden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem too.
That is very true. Nope, you're right. Another good point. Because all he's seen is losing, man.
Yeah.
That too, right? So, it's going to affect him, right? So.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what is? I never really came like addressed this really, but what's SGA's ceiling as a player? To you, like, is he
what do you mean, like, in terms of how good he can be, like, in terms of, like,
because I love him, but sometimes I sit back and I wonder, like, what kind of player is he going to be? Like, what is he going to top out at? Is he going to be a multiple time All-Star? Is he going to be like an extremely high level role player? Sometimes I'm like, I don't quite know, but I love his game though. I'm a huge fan, but sometimes I'm just like, what is his projected ceiling? Like, is it unlimited? I don't know if it's unlimited, but
you know what? Considering that this is his third year,
yeah,
it's right now what I'm seeing in his third year is to the point where it's not unlimited, but it's close to it. Like his ceiling, like I couldn't tell you what where he's gonna max out at because of how quickly he's got to this level, which I didn't think he'll get to this level. Not a chance. Like he had a great rookie year in LA, coming off the bench and starting a few games there, but to see him leading, like he is the team, like he's the franchise now.
Absolutely.
I did not see that come like in his first year, second year, or like for that to happen now. I did not see that. So I can't say, okay, you know what, his limit is going to be this because I didn't see this. He could be potentially Hall of Famer.
And it comes back to the CP3 thing too, because I didn't expect. Honestly, I thought CP3 last year would have got traded partway through the year, so I didn't think, because apparently they were real close. Like he took him in as like a big brother situation, and showed him the ropes and stuff last year, and you can see it's kind of paying dividends even this season. Being like that face right now of the franchise. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of his game, but I just sit back and I wonder, like, what's his ceiling? Like, I don't even have an answer. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But like, I could see multiple time All-Star. I could see him being like the third best player on the championship team, which is still, that's nothing to sneeze at. Like, I don't know. I'm just not sure what I'm going to see with him yet. But
the bottom line is that OKC is in a good position.
Absolutely.
To be a playoff team in a few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of him alone.
Yeah. Because of him. And then look at, all praise to Dort too as well, because like the improvements he made on his shot, just from this offseason alone, it's huge. You know what I mean? Like it's huge. So it's like these guys that's a funny thing, man. It's like these guys, they come out of school so early. They're so young. As you said, SJ's in his third year, but SJ is probably like 21.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are so young still.
That's the sport, though, man. That's basketball, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to have that character instilled into you to be that great of a player, right? I find great players are not only skilled, but they have high in character, high in IQ, like ball IQ or sport IQ. They have all of that. Those are the great players. Those three intangibles, and it's hard to have that in your first 2 years because you don't have care. You don't know what type of person to be. Everything just is all new to you.
Yeah.
The money, the life, the road, and then the IQ. Like you're not gonna have the ball IQ unless you're not gonna have that in your first couple of years unless you're like LeBron James, one of them highly touted picks. Mm-hmm. So. They are young, and that's why you have to give them a little bit of leeway. A lot of these rookies, but for Dort to have that high character in terms of like, listen, I'm going to work on my game. I'm going to focus on defense. Those are the things that most players don't want to do, right? Defense and take extra shots in the gym. They just want the limelight,
Mm-hmm.
And that separates the good rookies or the good players from the average players.
But like I said, it's happy that two Canadians are kind of taking that mantle right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just you kind of wish, because again, like I think SGA's he's in line to I think by next the beginning of next year or the end of the summer he might be eligible for his extension, like his rookie extension where he may get like the rookie max kind of thing, and I mean he's probably going to get it. He's probably going to get it just because their salary isn't like there's so much rookies on that team or younger players on that team. There's not, other than I think Horford and stuff, and it depends on if they move them. Like they're probably closer to the salary floor. You know what I mean? Than they are to the cap. So even signing him to like his rookie max or whatever or close to it, it's not going to like break them. You know what I mean? Especially with all the draft picks they have too.
Sure.
So it's a good thing. All right, so next up we got the Washington Wizards. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go from here? Lease, buy? Like where do you want to go?
They need to move in with the mama. They're gonna be generational deep, like in that same house. They're gonna own it too, so they ain't going anywhere. They ain't moving up. I feel for them, like. Yeah, I don't know where we should take, like what angle we should go with this, but um, I actually think they are in one of the. I think they're in like a worse situation than Mini is, than the Wolves.
Yeah.
I don't see any franchise guys
Mm-hmm.
outside of Beal. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the young guys. Like,
Right. Right.
I don't see anything promising
Yeah.
in the future, man, and it looks bleak. And I don't see Beal staying that much longer. I don't, honestly don't. I think he's going to get frustrated to the point because now not only are they still losing, now he's playing with Westbrook, and that's going to be a bit frustrating for him.
Did you
It's
see the
going to
outfit
be
he came in? It came in with tonight.
the yellow
Oh my
a
God.
rain. Like honestly, like when you're losing like this, and yeah, I don't know. But that doesn't mean he can't come in
Focus
fashionable and
and
whatever,
ready to
whatever.
go. Of
But it just
course.
looks bad. It just looks bad when you're losing and you're doing all this. You're pulling. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess he's trying to stay true to who he is. I guess.
Yeah, yeah, which is fine, right? I'm cool with that. But it just like from the outside, it's like, man, you're losing, man. There's nothing to be funny about or happy about or promoting your style or your persona about at this point. When you're losing, shoot, man,
Yeah.
head down and go to
Just
work, kind
Like,
of
that's
thing,
it. That's it. Yeah.
right? And I'm sure he is too, but like just the image, the optics of it all.
The funny thing is, man, it's going into this year, I would not have considered them to be a tank city candidate. But things have wildly changed, man. I was wrong. I'll admit it, man. I'm a grown man. I can admit when I make mistakes. That's a mistake I made. I thought the West.
What was your mistake?
I
What
thought
was your
I
mistake?
thought Westbrook and Beal would work, and I was
Ooh.
dead wrong. I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong because I'm looking at Westbrook stats right now. Because we all know Beal's like if he's not a superstar, he's really like straddling that line right now in terms of that aspect. But I'm looking at Westbrook stats. He's averaging 19. He's basically averaging 19.99 a night. But then you look at his shooting rates. He's shooting 41% overall from the field, 30% from three, and 64 from the free throw line. And he's already missed 7 games, and he's probably going to miss more. You know? Because he's on that same train as Blake Griffin, like that train that Blake Griffin hopped on about a year and a half ago. Like you could see, it's starting to, he's starting to seize up. As good as he is. Like, and the thing is, can he handle a rebuild to what I think Washington should be doing right now in terms of being better? Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to.
No, I don't think so. He wanted out from Houston, right? Like, if you want out of Houston, even if Harden expressed to you that he's leaving, you still got Wood. You still got some decent players there that you shouldn't even want to get out from. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally.
Right.
And then you accept the deal to go to Washington, which is in a worse position. So, like, I don't see him being like, I don't know. I just find like a lot of these guys that are super talented who don't go anywhere, like their teams, it all comes down to their character and their IQ level in terms of on the floor IQ level. And it just transcends to their records. Like they don't do well. If you have a low ball, like he has a low ball IQ, right? And that's me personally. I'm just saying because like the turnovers, the drives into the lane and
stuff,
throwing the ball around. Yeah, he just doesn't make other players better to that point. Like as an all-star, I'm not saying he doesn't, but like to the point where he can do, like he potentially can do. And his character, I don't think he just rubs like players the wrong way, like even on his own team, right? Like his history, like he had like with Reggie Jackson, and this is like many players on his own team. Yeah, like just like is that those are not like flukes or coincidences. These are really what you see on the court during the game. But I think is what you also see off the court. My brother always told me that like those guys that are feisty and all that stuff. That's who they are, like for the most part off the court. Right? You got to have that persona or personality. So I don't know. I just feel that with Washington, they're not going to get any. And they had Wall before that, who was again super talented, but no IQ on and off the court. No IQ. They just do it just to gang signs or on
and
the
that
court.
was just this summer.
Yeah, that's right. That's even recently after like 10 years in the league. So he's still not. He's immature, and the team won't go far when you have a player who is your leader who's immature. I don't care how talented you are. It just you can see it. Every team that does well have high character, high cerebral IQ, and talent and athletic skilled players. Those are your leaders. Those are your ultimate leaders.
My favorite highlight of this year so far with Beal is nothing he did on the court because he's had some spectacular games, but it's when they went back to Houston and Westbrook and Wall were kind of going back at it and bickering, and the look on Beal's face. Oh my God! It's something I'll never forget, man. It was hilarious. The look on his face, like he just looked like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing here? Like you know when somebody just slumps their shoulders. You know what the look was. I'll give you a quick story. So you remember this time? There was a time that we were in a club in Toronto, right? And this person should not be named, but a fight broke out. And you came to me, or one of you guys came to me, and the look on my face was just like, oh God, like it was no like, yo, so and so's in trouble, and you just take it off. You're just like, where are they? They're at the bar. All right, I'm going. Like, did I even walk? I said, did I even run, or did I walk? I think I just walked.
You did not run. Nope. No, you did not run. You just asked, it was me, and you asked me where are they, and you like point the area, point to me the area, and you're like, and you walked over there. Yep, I know the look of disgust.
Yep. You've been through it so many times.
You've been through it. Yeah, it's like. Yep. So that's what Beal is at. And you know what? Beal is a high character, high IQ. He's all that. What you need to build around, you can build around. It's just that he never had any of the players that were good enough to place around him. He never had like a true big man, and not that I can think of off the top of my head,
Yeah.
And they actually do a lot better when it's just Beal. I mean, like there was no Wall, no Westbrook. When last year when it was just Beal, they weren't winning, but you could see the team was playing actually a little better.
Yeah. And I mean, and it hurt them too that they lost Thomas Bryant this year. Who was actually a pretty solid big in terms of a hustle player, that kind of thing,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But he ain't gonna get you.
No, he's not gonna get you
to the next level.
No, absolutely not.
But he has improved.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing with Beal. Like, he could leave after next year. I think he has a player option in 2022, 2023. But to me, like at this stage, his stock may never be higher. You may as well just, in terms of the Tank City aspect, I think you should just set some roots here. Like just see how much like draft picks you can get for him right now, and just start over, man. Just start over, because I think because where Westbrook is heading right now, I think he's heading in a situation where he's going to be bought out by next season if he's still on the team.
I think so.
Like that's where he's going to be headed, because I don't see any other team making trades for him right now, especially where he's at this stage. Like if it was still the old Westbrook, a team might take the chance, but where he's at right now, I'm like I don't see teams being like lining up to trade for him. Like it's not happening.
Hell no.
Yeah, so they're gonna it's gonna be like they're gonna have to buy him out. I don't like, and who knows? It could even be after this season, but I think it's man. He still has so much money left on his deal. That's the hard part, though. This guy's making like 40-something mil.
And how many more years?
I want to say he has like at least 2 more years after this. So that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's you're stuck with him for at least another like this season and maybe even next season before you look to buy him out, or you maybe just eat the cost. You give him like $50 million and just be like, all right.
What was Wall's deal? How many more years did Wall have? I'm putting you on the spot, but like I'm saying, maybe they made that deal because Westbrook has less years on. I think like it was matching salaries almost, right? For the most part.
Yeah, it was, because it was a straight up trade.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of who has less years.
Yeah, I think it might be either around the same, or
I think Houston. Yeah, I think Houston. I think Wall has less years.
He may have less years, but I think it's
I don't know.
After as you said, after the summer of throwing up gang signs and coming off an Achilles tear and all these injuries are just like, all right, enough is enough.
The team that has the less years wins that deal.
Let me check right now. But let me check right now. But no, but the joke is though, I think they probably thought Westbrook would be the healthier player until they realized like, oh shit, this guy's he might be on the same trajectory right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mean like in terms of health wise?
Yeah, in terms of health wise, in terms of like the way like he's not trending in a good position.
Yeah. Well, he's not injury prone.
Yeah, so he's got actually, you know what? Looking at Westbrook's contract, he's making $41 million this year. Mm-hmm. He's making $44 million next year, and he's got a player option for $47 million in 2022-23. So
22-23.
He'll be 33 years old. So basically 2 years from now.
Okay, so 2 more years.
So, yeah,
and then Wall's probably
season.
Yeah, Wall. I'm just okay, all right. So
it's not. What I'm saying is like that's like even to buy him out, like that's a lot of money, man. That's still almost 90. That's 85, at least 80. No, actually, if because I'm thinking at this stage, especially if he continues being healthy, like he's gonna pick up that player option. He's gonna at least try. So that's like $91 million.
You think he's opting out? There's no way in this world. There's no way. I don't care if he has great seasons, like triple-double season. He's not opting out.
Yeah, I don't dispute that. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
His repetition, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, there's no team that's going to come crawling to even give him anything close to that. Now, mind you, he may want a long-term deal and take less, but even then, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, actually, they pretty much got the same deal.
But the years, though. What are the years?
They both have a player option in 2022, 2023.
Oh, they did. So
yeah,
it's
pretty much they just made the swap because, like I said, I think they made the swap and they're just like, well, you know what? He's probably going to be more healthier and he can play with Beal and it'll work itself out. Then maybe they'll get an 8th seed, that kind of thing, and it just didn't happen. At least so far, it didn't happen. Like you see some games where they do play pretty well together, but it's between COVID and all the because they had a breakout earlier this year too. So between that, injuries, it's just not going well right now. It really is. I mean, and that's an understatement. that's
big
an understatement. But the thing is, I like Hachimura, but like there's no as to lend to what you're saying, like there's no blue chip blue chip talent to speak of.
No. So, and I don't think he's it. Like I think he's going to be good. He might be, maybe all-star level ceiling, like the ceiling, right. But I don't think he's a guy that, it's still early though, so I hate judging these rookies like in their first 2-3 years, but he just doesn't seem to have it like to be that franchise guy right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so next up we got Detroit. Should Detroit be leasing or buying in Tank City?
Detroit are buying, man. They are not getting out from that position anytime soon. They are in the city of Detroit that makes things worse for them in the future, like in terms of free agents and whatnot. Their number 1 draft pick got hurt. He's not even playing, like to even build on the year. Mm-hmm. You know who surprised me though? Grant has, man. I did not know.
I know,
man. But I don't want to get off topic, but like even Grant, like he's like anyhow, he surprised me. But that's another topic. But even with Grant or Plumlee, who's playing well as well, also, the future is not. There's no young studs. There's nobody there that, unless I'm missing something. Am I missing somebody that they have that's like under 22 that's highly touted? Maybe Bay. What's his name? Sadiq. What's his name now?
Oh, Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, Bey looks pretty good too, but that's not enough. Like he's not enough to take that franchise to the next level. So, and then now I think with what's his name that wants out? Shoot.
Blake.
Yeah, Blake. They brought him in. He wasn't the right guy to bring in. As I said about the high character, high cerebral type players, he's not that. Right? He's not good for the young kids. He's not good for the franchise. he's nowhere near of who he was before. So they're not going to get anything for him. Like, I don't know what his contract situation is like, but if they're looking for a first round pick and all that for a guy that's injury prone or who's a knucklehead, it's not happening.
It's funny. I guess to answer my question, if they're leasing or buying, I don't think it should be either.
Really?
I think what they should do, honestly, just to keep up with the theme and the history of the city in terms of the automotive industry and stuff in Detroit, just to honor their previous works, they should be sleeping in their cars. That's what I think they should do. I think they should just ask Washington if they can stay in their carport, their driveway, and just sleep in their cars. That's personally what I think. It's funny, man. I look at Blake Griffin like I used to look at my my Trailblazer. In the decade, it started off hot, and it wasn't safe to drive by the end. By the end of the decade, like his knees are finished, man. Like I did not expect to see to this degree, like how fast he fell. Like it's crazy because the guy's a shell of himself, and he's only turning 32 next month.
Wow, I didn't know he was only 32. The thing is, though, with these high jumping, flying guys, they put wear and tear on their knees, and he had injuries
before
even
that,
in his rookie year. Like, he didn't even play his rookie year, right? Am I right? Something like that. But like, nothing is worse. Like, if you're a GM or you're an owner, nothing is worse than seeing injuries in a rookie. Like, in a rookie, because it could set the tone or the trend of being injury riddled. Like, you don't want to see any rookies or anybody go through a lot of injuries early on in the career, because usually in my field of work, especially like with orthopedics and fractures, like once you break something, you're at a higher chance of breaking it again.
Yeah.
So it's just the history of it's just sad. Like, you don't want to see that for any rookie to go down with multiple injuries in the first couple of years, and that's what he did, right? So
yeah,
you shouldn't really be surprised. You shouldn't really be surprised, but I do know what you're saying, because he was at a level that was like, Lob City, right? Those guys were flying through the roof. Him and DJ.
They were one of my favorite teams, man. They were like must-see TV. Like the last, I would say, like early 2010s and stuff. Like up until maybe like 2015, 2016, they were like must-see TV, man. You couldn't take your eyes off him at certain points, man. It was, and those dunks where he was like just almost hurdling 7-footers. Like, there was very few things we've seen like that in basketball, man. Like, it was crazy to watch. As a fan, it was incredible to watch.
And not only that, you can see his jumper was getting better. Like, his shot, his free throws,
decision making,
his ball handling. Like, he was like elevating his game.
Yeah. To
the point where I was like, oh my God, if he can jump and then he can shoot the ball now. But he just wasn't. The injuries hurt him, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just think who he is as a person hurt him. Like, I don't know these guys off the floor, obviously, but you could tell. He doesn't make guys, or he doesn't. I don't know. I don't want to like go on too deep because I don't really know him, right? I just know from the knucklehead things that he does on the court and off the court. But those guys, you can't build. You don't want to build. You don't want those guys leading your team. You can't have like the Blake Griffins and the White Sides and all these guys being in your locker room when you got young guys, man. You can't have it, man. You can't.
Where do you see him landing next? Like, because they're going to buy him out, and then going back to his contract, he's actually he has a player option for next year, so I think that's why they're looking to buy him out. So
he's opting in.
Yeah, well, his that's if they don't buy him out. Like, if they don't make a trade, because so next year is his player option, which is at $38.9 million.
Oh crap!
Right, and this year he's making 36, basically like about $36.5 million.
So if you buy a player out, he can't opt in because there's no contract.
Exactly,
because you're bought out.
Exactly, so once you buy
so
them
how much are these buyouts?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It gets expensive. This is what I'm talking about. It gets expensive because
you're basically not only are you not getting anything in return for the player, but you're also not getting anything in return for your buck, for your dollar.
Right, because like if he was to opt in a perfect world, This is basically, I'm doing the math off the top of my head here, about 70, they own basically about 74 mil. What's the buyout price for that? Is it 50 mil? Is it 60? Like, what is it?
That's some info we can probably find out.
Yeah,
online or something.
Like, what's the buyout option for that? But either way, it's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money, man. Like, that's not $20-30 million. Like, that's going to be at least, I'm thinking it's going to be at least 50. You know, if you're making them walk away from, making as much as $74 million, by the end of 2022, yeah, like, and I understand, you sign that contract, you're going to want as much of it as possible, because going forward after this, he's not getting anything close to this for the rest of his career.
But you see what I'm saying again? Like, this is how bad, I'm not going to say they want him out, but this is how bad, this is how much they really care to have him on the team or not. Like, they don't care to the point where, like, they're like, you know what, go home. And we'll try to make you, I'm sure he probably requested a trade too, but if he was a guy that was well liked and loved and all that, they would say, just keep playing and we'll work this out. But they're like, yo, stay home. Drummond, stay home, man. Just stay home. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's funny. Like, I know with that trade, they landed that trade that they made with Derrick Rose. They landed Dennis Smith Jr. Can we free Dennis Smith Jr.? Can he get an opportunity to beat somebody?
Calvin, I'm going to be the bad guy, and I hate to tell this to you and break your heart, but
you're not breaking my heart here. It's fine.
He has been freed, and he has done nothing with the freedom. He's never capitalized on the opportunity.
Yeah,
he's had freedom. Even in Dallas, he's had freedom. He just listen, Calvin. I'm telling you, these are things that we don't see behind. I keep saying this stuff because I know, because of my brother, right? I just know things behind the scenes. I'm telling you this, he's talented, right? He's talented.
Oh,
he can jump through the roof, but his decision-making on the court floor is horrible to the point where you can't have him be your point guard. You can't. Yeah. You got to have him like as a two guard, but he's too small. But then when he's your two guard, he makes poor decisions. And then I'm sure off the court, things that is like, relationships are so key. Like, even with, not just with players, but with your management, with the concession people, staff, like, it's everything. And people can see things when they don't like you, man. And he's a player like he looks like, I don't want to keep throwing around that term knucklehead because I don't know him either, but he just looks like a guy that just hasn't gotten it yet mentally, man. And it seems like now, now he has finally hit home to him. Like, he has one more chance. I don't know, wherever he goes. Sorry, where's he at now? Like, is he in the
Detroit?
G League?
He's in Detroit.
He's on Detroit, but I don't think he's going to get any minutes. So is he going to get any minutes there? I don't think so.
I don't know. That's the crazy part,
right? So I think
and you know what? As you say that, I think he may actually go. I think he actually did request to play in the G League.
And I know he did in New York because he wasn't getting any playing time.
Yeah,
but then he got traded. But I don't know if he's going to get minutes, if he's going to go to the G League still or whatnot.
Because right now, DeLon Wright is the starter. He's playing pretty well. Because he had Casey, right? So he's played with Casey before.
Yeah,
so he knows his philosophies and stuff. But then Killian Hayes he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt. So, yeah. But anyhow, there's at least an opportunity for him down the line because it's not a glut of point guards. So, as a matter of fact, they have really no real number one point guard in Detroit.
Right.
So there's an opportunity for him if he plays well, right? But and I think I hope he finally gets it now. I think he understands it. But between you and me, I don't think he's a point guard, man.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I think it's one of those things where, I want to see him kind of get his confidence back. I'm probably one of the very few people that believes he can still be something. Like, I'm not saying a star, but just something in the league in terms of being able to play in the NBA. Like, I find he's probably one of those guys that would be better off being in a winning culture. Like you put him somewhere, like, say, like, imagine, and I'm going to probably reference this team a little bit, but imagine if he landed in, like, Golden State, for example. And if it was in a situation like that, that would probably help him. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, just in terms of
it would help, but I don't know. Yeah, being in New York definitely did not help. That's for sure.
No.
I agree with you there. Just the whole organization and the losses and the culture. Right? There's no vets. But
and sometimes
that being said, I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I had no other point. I was just going to say, like, if he was in an organization where they had no point guard. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, they still don't have a point guard. like Derrick Rose is a point guard, but like you know what I'm saying. He's
Oh,
like
you don't like Quickly, Emmanuel
no,
Quickly?
no, you know what I'm saying. Like I
Yeah,
like Quickly, but I'm saying there wasn't Quickly was drafted this year, man.
right.
Like
No, you're right. Yeah.
the years before, there was they don't who was it Peyton? Like they don't have a
Yeah,
point
Alfred
guard, man.
Payton. Yeah.
And it was Frank Nick. Like even Frank, he's not even that good,
No,
and he couldn't even beat him out.
he's not even getting on the court now. Frankie
No,
Smokes.
exactly now.
Yeah.
So my point is that was the ideal organization, and that's why they probably traded for him because they needed a point guard.
Yeah.
So that tells you how bad he is.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get minutes anymore. He
I
did
know,
get minutes, but not
last
anymore.
year something happened with him, like off the court, like in terms of not knucklehead stuff, but I don't know if like somebody I don't know if it was his father. I'm just going off the top here, but I don't know if it was his father. Somebody passed away that was like, and it messed him up. But I can't remember if it was his father. It was somebody like close to him though. Or his grandmother.
And I can see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. That's another thing. Quickly, like these players are like human beings, like they're just like you and I, and they have mental health issues, man, that may not have been present in that age 19, 20, 21, but is there at 23. You know, and you've seen a lot of these players nowadays are coming out speaking out on it, like Love and DeRozan, and this is common, man, in all sports, and it's like the same percentages of mental health, like 1 in 5 or whatever, in society is the same on a team, right? It doesn't change. So, and I think that's what, as I said, that's what limits players from elevating to a higher level or not improving, and that's what it does, right?
Yeah, like I guess let's move on to the other squad. But yeah, I think it's I guess last point about Detroit. I just feel like even with Jeremy Grant, like again, like I'm like you, he shocked the hell out of me. I didn't see him. I thought he would be okay. I didn't think he'd be this good, and I think it's sustainable for him, at least for this season. It's sustainable, but ideally, you know, you want him. You don't want him being your main driver. You want him to be in the car. Like if he's in the back seat and you know the other drivers are tired, you want him to take the wheel for a while on those. You know, if you're driving out of Tank City, you want him to be in the back seat. I don't know if you want him to be, you know, the main driver doing all the driving or most of the driving. You know, I don't know if that's going to end up in a great situation. As you're seeing now, like, you know, he's playing really well, but the team is like the second worst team in the NBA. So,
no, yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, agreed. He's getting the opportunity and he's capitalizing on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he got the money. When he got that money too, I was like, whoa, what is Detroit doing? Like, that's a lot of money. Like, mind you, he looked like a stud in that playoff run for Denver and whatnot. So don't get me wrong. So they saw something that we saw, but I didn't think he was going to be like given that like this kind of money.
Yeah,
but he's earning every cent.
He really is. And should we like pour out a little liquor for Dwayne Casey now, or should we wait until like after he gets? Because I don't think he's lasting here, man. I'm sorry. Like it's just the situation is like, you know, when you're losing to this degree and there's no prospects in sight, you've seen this story before, you know. And as a black coach, I want to see him. You know, I want to see him succeed still. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how long he's gonna last. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Yeah. Let's see.
You know, yeah. I have a spot for Casey in my heart, man. You know,
I know you do.
Yeah, but the way he ended off. Well, I don't want to get off topic, but yeah, he made some poor decisions in those playoff runs for the Raptors. But anyhow, yeah, I do have a soft spot for him still.
No, you can air your grievance. It's okay.
No. All the best to Dwayne Casey going forward. Just never. I don't want him seen back in Toronto again, though.
No, unless he's eating at a restaurant.
Or at a jump up for Carabana.
Yeah. If he's on a float, the Revelers float, that's cool. No problem. Yeah. So next up, we got Cleveland. Should Cleveland be leasing or buying?
No, man. They should be leasing, man. They are on the cusp of breaking out, in my opinion. They're ready to move on up, like the Jeffersons. Mm-hmm. I think they got a lot of talent. I think they just got to get that culture change, and that will take some time. But I think I can see it happening. I like the trades that they're making.
They definitely should be looking they're definitely looking at plans to live outside the city.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the suburbs,
Yeah.
in the suburbs. But no, they're in a great position. I think going forward, they still have like some They have a lot of assets too, right?
Hmm.
They got Love still. They should be trading, right? I
Yeah.
hope so. Like he's been out the whole year, and I don't think they've done well without him. Not well, but better than I expected. So
Hmm.
they got assets and they look good. I like their rookies and I like the point guards. I like Garland. I like Okoro. What's his name? Okoro, whatever his
Isaac
name is. Like,
Okoro. Yeah.
yeah. So I like them. I do like them. Like so, yeah. I like them. They're gonna be fine. It's just that they're in Cleveland.
Yeah. To recruit, it's already tough as it is. That
As it is, man.
Cleveland might already be like the real tank city, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think they should be leasing too. But like, I don't know. I'm slowly starting to turn on the Colin Sexton because for years I've not been a fan.
I know.
But
I remember.
yeah, but you know what? Maybe some of it has to do with the fact that I have to spend money on him for my fantasy team this year. But he's a good player, man. Like I got to give it to him. Like he's a future All-Star. I don't know if he'll be in it this year, but he's very efficient, I think that's the thing that kind of like shocks me because he does not pass. Like I think.
No, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things like if he got 3 wishes from a genie, he would wish to be about 6'6".
Yeah.
And then that would like then it would like his whole vibe, his whole career would make sense after that. Because he just doesn't pass the ball at all. Like there's not.
Yeah, he's not a point guard.
No.
He's definitely a scoring guard, shooting guard type of mentality at least. May not have the height, but yeah, he's definitely a shoot first, pass later. And his IQ isn't the best either in terms of floor management and whatnot. He's like, but he is he has grit, he grinds, he cares, he's passionate.
He does.
And that's what you want to see because it makes others do the same. It's that culture setting type of thing now.
Yeah.
Like at least on the floor, right? So I like Garland. Maybe they can they've been trying to play them 1 and 2, right? Together,
Yeah.
right? So but just as long as he can guard the two guards, Sexton, then it could work. And the point is though, they're both talented, so they got assets. So that's an asset. So that's what you need if you want to move on up.
No, it's interesting because I saw I was there at the Vegas Summer League when he was that was a rookie class when he came in. Like he was a rookie. He was playing in the Summer League at the time when I went to go watch and just the way he was picking up guys 94 feet, even at Summer League with that kind of like determination, that like all out intensity. It was like just watching that in person. I was like, wow, like this guy's intense, man. The way he plays, like he plays hard.
His energy level is it's off the charts, and it's hard to find players with that kind of. No, you can't. That's my point. Yeah, exactly. So that's an asset that he needs to continue to utilize if he wants to play the 2 guard spot.
Yeah, but it's like I say they should be leasing, but they shouldn't be totally opposed to buying. I think just because, I mean, you're getting rid of Drummond, which I mean he's an expiring contract, so you knew most likely he wasn't signing back anyway. But I know the way that they've done it in terms of sitting him, because I don't think he requested it. The way they're basically like benching him until they can trade him. That caused like a lot of news, especially that whole Draymond Green press conference where he went off. Which it's funny, I actually totally agreed with him.
We had that little discussion in our chat group. Like, not to get off topic, but like I totally agree with it. Like, sorry, not I totally. I understood where he's coming from, but sadly, that is life, though. You know what I'm saying? And maybe not fair, where the owner or your boss has more say than you, or has more leeway, or more. They're in a more advantageous position where you are, where they can say and tell you to do things you don't want to do. And that was just my opinion on it. But like, yeah, it sucks though. Yeah. That was my point. I understood it sucks. Like he's looked at differently.
And he's been playing good. He's been playing good this year.
Who has been playing good? Drummond?
He's been playing good in comparison to the last couple of years. He's been playing pretty solid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He just hasn't been consistent, and he's been playing well. he's been playing well. I don't think he's playing to the level of his contract. I don't think he's playing well to the level of this new age of centers in the NBA, where outside hitting jumpers, and he's not doing any of that.
Yeah,
he's just rebounding.
He's playmaking more. He has been playmaking more,
which is fine. Which is good. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, some of it has made him unfortunately end up on Shaq and the Fool, but other times like he's made some good plays. Like you watch him finish some games where you're like, wow, okay, like you notice an improvement. Again, you know that's part of him trying to stay in the league in terms of where the big man is going. Part of it too is he is a free agent this summer, so that all plays a part in it too, right?
Yeah. No, it definitely
got to entice
does.
teams.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not. There's no trading. There's nobody that wants to trade him. There's nobody. Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to trade from because he has a hefty contract.
Yeah,
right?
He's
you got to match.
Agent.
You got to match. You got to match salaries, right?
Right.
And you're going to trade for this guy that's not going to last like for 2 months. It's a shortened season. Like when I mean last, like I don't see anybody building long term around him, right? So I think he might go like the Whiteside. I said this in another chat or maybe our chat. He might end up like Whiteside. I'm telling you, like in the off season, he's not going to get any buyers, and he's going to get something low ball, and then he has no choice because Whiteside was. I think he's talented. Whiteside's talented too.
Yeah.
For a big man, he can shoot. He just can't play the pick and roll. He's slow, but come on, he couldn't get an offer.
I know, and he's not really doing that much either right now. I don't know if he's hurt or what have you, but
no, he's healthy. He's just not. They're going with Holmes, and he's just getting limited minutes too. On top of that, which is surprising to be honest.
Yeah, but that's Sacramento too. They just do weird stuff.
Yeah, they do. They do.
That's part of it too. It's to touch on Kevin Love. I mean, shouldn't they consider buying him out as well? Because to me, I know you're saying they should maybe look to trade him, but to me, I don't think it makes sense to keep him, and I don't think to trade him. Like this guy usually misses half the season. He's making $30 million.
Well, let the other team worry about that, man. Let the other team.
But who's trading for him? That's the thing. Like,
okay, that's
yeah.
Well,
like,
you know what?
Who would trade for him?
If he was playing, like honestly, if he was playing right now and he was like doing what he normally does, there would be teams calling for him during the playoff run.
Absolutely.
He could play. He could possibly play. Possibly like the 5, like depending on who he's matching up against. He can play. So that's what's needed. If the teams want to go small ball, they have that option, and he can shoot. He can do it all, man. Yeah, he can do all. They can rebound.
No.
If he was playing, but the worst thing can happen when you're trying to trade a player and they're hurt. You can't do it in this league anymore.
I can't even say he's Gallinari because I think Gallinari is usually healthier than he is, which is crazy to say.
No. You think Gallinari is never healthy? You think Love is worse?
When does Love play? Love is always hurt. He's always hurt, man.
I gotta take a look. I don't think he's bad.
Do it right now. Do it right now. We're talking.
Nobody is as bad as Gallinari. Man. Nobody.
Oh man,
Gallinari has he's infamous for the butt. What does he have?
Hurting his ass. Yep. Yeah. And being out like 2 weeks.
More than 2 weeks, yo.
That was beyond comical.
Yeah, but anyhow, so I didn't know. I would have to look to see how many games if Love plays a full season ever. Because Gallinari does not.
Listen, I'm actually Googling it right now as I'm talking to you. So he's basically, I think his first year, his rookie year, he played 81 games.
Okay.
Right? Ever since then, he's never played more than, well, he had 2 years where he played 77 and 75 games. So it was last year in Minnesota.
Yeah, man.
He played 77 games. His first year in Cleveland, second year in Cleveland, he played 75 and 77 respectively. After that, after they won the title, he's played 60 games, 59 games, 22 games. Last year he played 56 games, and this year he's played 2 games.
Okay, this year he has a write-off. Last year, it's not so bad. Don't even bother pull up Gallinari's.
Well, I don't know. Well, they're neck and neck.
I see your point, though. Yeah, I see your point, though. I see your point. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. So like, if I'm trading for him, it's like it's nothing to do with his talent. It's just is this guy going to stay on the floor? You know, like if it's like a situation where like how Phoenix used to have their trading thing where everybody was like Cocoon. Like remember the movie back in the day, Cocoon, and all the older people will come back and they're all rejuvenated and they're all younger. Like if their locker room is like that or their trading situation is like that, like Phoenix was back in the day, then I would definitely take the chance if you have that kind of trading regimen over in that in your franchise. But other than that, I don't know, man. Like that he might to me he might be a buyout situation too.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. But at the same time, I don't think he is. I think he's a guy that's liked in the locker room. He's a guy that's liked by coaches, coaching staff, and a guy that who could teach the younger guys on how to be professional and play. He's a smart player. So, those are the type of guys that don't normally get bought out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He's not a knucklehead.
And the situation with the way the East is set up and the way the season has been in terms of parity and the postponements of games and COVID and all that stuff is right now. If you could win 4 in a row, you can be right. Like for them, they could be right back into that play-in situation. So it's like if he comes back and he's healthy and they win, like they rattle off 4 or 5 wins in a row. It may make sense to keep him too. It's just a weird, I think the next few weeks is like the type of moves they make is going to really determine where they're going to go. So it's either they're going to lease in Tank City for a year. They might leave Tank City altogether this in the next month or so, or they might set themselves up to still buy. We don't know, but it just depends on what they do in the next couple weeks, next month or so.
But they got some young guys. They got some good young players on top of that.
Yeah, they do.
So I like their young players versus, say, another team's young players. And
I did see that.
I did read that Love was either practicing today for the first time or running or doing something.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in the near future. All right. So there's 2 bubble teams that I'm throwing in there that I don't know if they should be in Tank City or not, but I'm just gonna throw them out there. We'll start off with Orlando. Should they be leasing in Tank City? Maybe not buying, but should they be leasing, or should they really revamp and go and buy some property there?
That is a good question. That's a good team. That's the true definition of a bubble team, because I don't know how they're making playoffs every year.
I know
the team to me on paper is not that good. Right, other than Vucevic, I call him Vucevic. There isn't really, they got a lot of role players, like Ross and Fournier and
Gordon.
Those guys to me are just like stick and play type players, role players. I don't think those guys are all stars, but they're good players.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't like their future. Mm-hmm. In terms of where they are going to be in 3 to 5 years. I don't like Bamba. I don't like Isaacs was pretty decent.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaacs, but he's blown his knee twice. He's
hurt. Yeah, remember I told you about those early injuries in your career?
Yeah.
You don't come back, man. Versus to say to somebody who hasn't had an injury, you can't. Yeah. But anyhow, I don't like their future. Personally, if I had to choose, they are buying in Tank City. They're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, I think I think they should be leasing, but it's one of those, I remember you'll see this sometimes where I had a friend of mine who was they kept they live in Toronto, they're from Montreal, but they kept going back to visiting Montreal all the time, and you're like, are you gonna move there or something? Why do you keep going back to Montreal? It's not for business. It's just to go hang out. Okay. Are you trying to move back? What is it you're doing? I'm just saying that because they seem like they don't want to be in Tank City, but they keep visiting. They keep looking around. But, it's just one of those things. I don't know. It's like they're kind of keeping the city in a situation where it's like a backup plan. Maybe just in case we should just look at this city. Let's just look around. Let's just see what the school system's like here. But they keep flirting. They honestly keep flirting with mediocrity, And
Yeah.
and to me, it actually makes sense for them just to get rid of their assets and just, like, as you said, buy property here. And just
Man, exactly. No, you're right. I think, but those are the tough decisions the GM has to make, and that's what makes a good GM. Like, they got to look and say, listen, do we build from this playoff run or this 8 seed, bring in pieces for trade, or is this a facade? Like, is this something that we shouldn't have been able to do? We shouldn't have been able to be at this point. And I think if I'm a GM, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna like totally blow it up, but I'm keeping one or two, three guys, and I'm trading my other guys while they're playing at their peak or highest point, because I'm no dummy. Like, I'm looking at the other teams like Boston and the Bucks, and and seeing those teams are like, okay, Brooklyn, like, we're not winning right now, man.
Yeah.
Now, who am I fooling? That's how I would go about it. But those are the tough decisions to me. It's hard to do those decisions when you're a GM, because you only have so many years on your contract, and then you gotta like win, and it affects everything, man. So it's easier said than done from the outside, but when you got like 1 year left on your contract as a GM and you gotta blow things up, well, you might as well fucking just pack your shit up and walk out the door.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They like, I don't understand like their philosophy. They keep going hard for that 8th spot, losing in the first round, but you're never getting like a good draft pick.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't get that blue chipper, because right now, like in terms of the young guys, like Bamba's a project. He's still a project. Isaacs is hurt. Fultz, who you got from Philly, he was actually starting to play well the last year or so. Like, he's done. He blew his ACL. You got Cole Anthony, but he's good, but he's not a guy that, you know what I mean, they're going to be like selling billboards of him and, selling season ticket packages to come watch Cole Anthony play. And then the rest of the guys they have on their team is just as vets. So it's like, okay, like, what are we actually doing here? You know what I mean? Like, to me, they should just blow this up. Like, I don't understand why they keep, like, they're not. Unless a star is like, yo, I want to come and play for Steve Clifford, I want to come and play, in Orlando and stuff. Like, I don't understand why they don't just start over. Just do it. Just, like, I don't get it.
Told you, man. I think it's a lot of upper management. It's not that easy, man.
No, I know. I agree.
You might have made picks, and you can't just, as a GM, you made picks and then trade them out the next year. That means that you fucked up.
Made mistakes, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do stuff like that.
I totally.
So there's a lot of politics in behind the scenes. So, but you're right. It's those teams are like 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, even 6.
Yeah,
those are tough decisions to make, right? Well, you gotta be real with yourself as a GM and as a coaching staff. You gotta be real and say, listen, these guys are good, but not good enough. But at the same time, you can't always keep blowing it up either. Like, you need a winning culture. You need a winning place where free agents would want to come and all that. So,
but do they want to come there?
No, they don't.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird. Which is kind of weird, because Orlando is like, it's not weird, but like, I know the NBA culture, but Orlando's a dead city, but it's like tax free.
Yeah.
It's warm. It's quiet. You can get your money can go long for homes, and but young players don't like that, man. Young guys,
they want to be on the scene, and
they do. They do with the NBA, the NFL, for the most part.
I guess the other team that I had on the bubble is Houston.
No, they're not no bubble. They're in the Tank City, man.
Tank City, okay, all right. So they should be buying.
They're in the penthouse in Tank City.
They're the tenement house.
Okay, do you see their lineup? Like, not even their lineup. Do you see their roster?
I know.
Guys,
it's not looking great right now.
Yo, it's like, honestly, they can all be in a G League almost. They can be almost. I don't know who. Outside of Wall and maybe Gordon, like who is like Macklemore,
Tate,
Brown,
like half the guys you barely know their names. Yeah.
Wood, not including Wood. Sorry, Wood is Christian Wood is nice, but Tucker, Wood and Tucker. But you know what I'm trying to say is like, these guys are not. They have no future. And then you rambled off all those draft picks that they gave away.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, they did get some back from Brooklyn too, right? So
Okay.
but I mean, but again,
Oh yeah. Sorry. What am I saying? Yeah.
yeah, they got picks from Brooklyn for the Harden trade, but the thing is too, it's like if those guys stay together for the next 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know what those draft picks are going to be worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not going to be. They'll be first round picks, but it's not going to be like, first overall, third overall, unless they just implode and they all go their separate ways. Then you're laughing. But yeah, it's the West is tough, man, because you got Wall and Cousins who continue to get nagging injuries, which is predictable considering like the catastrophic injuries they had over the last couple of years. And then the Wood injury, that's the one that hurts them the most, because if they're healthy, I think they're actually not a bad team if they're healthy, because now remember they got Oladipo too, right? But it's just, again, it's if they're healthy. It's funny, defensively so far this season, they're 4th in defensive rating, but they're 26th offensively, like in terms of offensive rating. So it's like it's a wide gap. But it speaks to that too. Like half the time they're playing, it's like there's like borderline G League players, and they're just kind of surviving these games. But Oladipo's hurt. He's another one that doesn't have a hard time staying healthy.
Oladipo,
but he's another one too that doesn't stay healthy all the time. And he's a free agent. And then like Wall is like kind of the franchise, but he's coming off 2 major injuries.
You can't build around guys, or you can't sign, like if you're an organization, you can't sign guys like Oladipo to like long-term contracts or big contracts. That's why when we have her in our chats and we're trying to figure out who's a good 2 guard, and I always say DeMar. I like DeMar, but at least DeMar's healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't sign Oladipo. Give me a break. I don't care how good he is. He can get hurt the next week.
And
right, but you can't. So you can't invest. You can't invest a lot of money into with a risk like that. It's a high risk signing.
And it's funny because like you're mentioning DeRozan, like San Antonio. I don't have them on this list. Like I don't think they should be in Tank City because they do things kind of the right way, and like it's
they got a lot of. They have a couple of good picks, like young guys too.
They
man.
do.
Like I like Vassell. I like Johnson. Murray. I like Murray.
Yep.
Like
Lonnie Walker's got some talent.
Yeah, Lonnie. Yeah, so they just need some like bigs right now, and some young bigs
and a star player. They need like that one star player, like that one.
Murray could be it, man.
So
Murray
Johnson.
could be like when DeMar's gone and Aldridge, he's pretty much is done. Holy cow! Yeah. I was watching him play. Maybe he was hurt because he's not playing now, but those last few games before he went,
he's almost a shell of himself, basically. At this stage.
God, he was not even trying to box out anymore. He wasn't even rebounding. Yeah. I think he averages like 2 rebounds a game, like 12 points, 2 rebounds. I'm like, he doesn't even look to box out because he doesn't want to get banged up anymore. But anyhow, so they need some bigs. So that's what they need. They need some bigs, but they're not in Tank City. They're just on the outside right now.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
And they got Pop too for however long he stays.
Yeah, but they're okay. But it's like with Houston, it's like they got those draft picks, but again, it's because they gave up some of theirs too to OKC. It's a weird situation. Like Christian Wood is in a good place because I think if he can stay healthy, he may be like the face of the team. Which is like crazy considering like where his from where he started in his career, like just really not that long ago to where he is now. Like he's averaging 23 and 12, and it's pretty legit.
It is legit, yeah, it is.
It's legit, but
I like Wood. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah,
and I love those guys that grind their way to the top too, right? So if he can just be a character guy, like in terms of like be a leader and be smart and say the right things, you can build around him. I just don't know him as an individual yet. Not as an individual. I don't know him as I haven't seen enough of him, for him to do something stupid with the money and all this stuff. That guy. I need to see him in the league a year or so before I can make a judgment. But he seems like a humble guy. So he's been through the grind. So but so did Whiteside too. He's been through the grind too. He wasn't drafted, and he's still a knucklehead. So. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Money changes you.
Yeah, it does, or it can. It definitely can.
It
definitely can if your head's not on straight. I guess they need to definitely buy like what you call like a townhouse in the projects in Tank City. Like they definitely got to do that. They should be beside the sulfur mill.
Agreed.
Before we wrap up though, just the last part is just want to go over like who would you have as your all-star starters for the East and West Conference? Not who you think is going to be it. Who you would just, and we could do this off the top because I didn't prepare for that part. But like, who would be like who would be like for the Eastern Conference? I guess we'll start with these. Like, who would be your pick for to start the All-Star game in the East?
So point guard first, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Because remember, it's guards and forwards now. Guards.
Yeah.
Forwards,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I would. It's hard, but I would still give it to Harden.
In the East, right? Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, in the
it's
East,
hard
right?
with the
You
East.
said East, right?
Yeah,
because
it's hard with the East.
Trades.
Yeah.
But Harden, I will put Harden and Beal in the backcourt.
Yeah.
You can argue for Kyrie or whoever, but that's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, my two, Harden and Beal, and up front I will have forwards. Right? Is it forwards? Is it just three forwards, or is it like?
Well, I think it's forwards, and sevens. It's all this.
Okay, so I will put Tatum.
Yeah.
I like how he's playing well, man. He is above. What's like the mega star? Like he's top 10 in the league right now, man. So I got Tatum and Giannis, of course, and then Embiid.
Wow. Okay. No KD.
No. Well, not over Giannis.
Okay.
Not over
Tatum. Wow. Okay.
No. Remember, you said this year, like in terms of
this
what
season.
I'm seeing.
This season.
Yeah, not like
so far. Yeah.
Not like if I would, I'm just looking at this season, like right now. So the season stats, the kind of thing. If I'm looking at like Durant, he's playing well, right? But I don't have the stats I don't have the stats in front of me, so I don't know, right? But I think Giannis has better stats and Tatum. I think.
I would say, you can look it up while I'm talking to you if you want to pull it up. But I would say, my bigs would be, or bigs and forwards would be Embiid, Giannis, and KD. Those would be my three right now. I actually think I know the media is pumping LeBron as the MVP, but right now I would say it's Embiid. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Yeah, I would think I don't understand why people almost making it seem like LeBron's running away with this, and I'm like, I don't understand. Embiid's really busting ass right now.
He is, man.
He really is. But and then my guards, the guards is a tough one. Beal's like the one. Hard. Yeah, Beal is the one that's that's for sure.
Sure, eh? Okay.
For Beal, like for the one guard, for sure. To me, it's him. Like, but the other guard, is Jaylen Brown a guard or is he a forward?
No, he's a forward.
He's a forward. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess it'd be Harden because I would say Jaylen Brown would be the other guy would be a guard, but if he's a forward, which I think you're probably right, then
he's a small forward if anything, or he's not classified as a guard.
Okay, because I mean Harden hasn't been in the East long enough to really be that guy, but I guess it would have to be him. It would have to be him. It would have to be him.
Or Kyrie, I think.
Yeah, no, Kyrie too. Kyrie has a spot. I know he's missed some time too. That's the other thing with him, but I will go with Harden, I guess. Yeah, because like I said, unless I see that he's a guard forward, Jaylen Brown, then I will put Jaylen Brown. But where I was like quickly thinking about, like Levine was having a great year, man, and
he's been healthy too. But it's just like how this is. How like it's hard because I like guys like that, but then they would say, the team still sucks, so like you can't have him as your starting. All-star, but I don't really care. I just think like if he passes my eye test and he's the players busting their ass and they're trying everything and they just are just surrounded with players that just can't play, then why am I gonna knock him or hurt him for that? Anyhow, that's my five.
Okay, and then what about the West?
The West, I like for the guards, I like Luka.
Okay.
I like Luka, right, as a guard, and I like Curry. I like Curry. Curry's bouncing back. He bounced back well. But this is tough, man, because you got Lillard and he's playing well too again.
Yeah.
He's always healthy, like not always healthy, but like
Yeah, he's pretty healthy for the most
yeah,
part.
you know what I'm saying. And but I like Luka and I like Curry, and then up front I like forwards LeBron, obviously.
Yeah.
And I like I guess AD. I'm trying to think who else is a forward.
I mean, you can pick him, even though I wouldn't. Yeah, well, go on.
Well, I said AD. I like AD, and then I like Joker. Okay. I like Joe. Yeah, he has to be in there for sure as my center. So for sure, he potentially could be MVP.
Yes,
candidate as well.
He's been amazing this year.
Oh my goodness,
he's been amazing. Like the scoring. Because remember, for the longest while, it was like, yeah, he needs to score more. Man, he needs to score more. He's too unselfish. Like, he's a great passer, but he needs to score a little bit more. And now you're like, holy shit. Like, he's dropping 50 in a lot of games and stuff now, where you're just like, what the hell's happening? He's averaging like 27, 28 a night.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's my center. And AD's playing well, too. It's like he's hurt again now. So, like,
I don't even think he's playing in the All-Star game.
Yeah, so if it's as of today, yeah, I still give AD, but if he's out, yeah, maybe somebody else. But yeah, I like AD and LeBron and Joker. Who's your 5?
My 5, I would I would say I totally agree with Jokic, LeBron for sure. I'm kicking Anthony Davis the hell out because I'm actually a little disappointed in how he's playing this year.
Okay.
I think, and some of it, I know one of my pods, I think it was my guest was O'Neal. I think he was saying that he thinks some of these guys are cruising, maybe because they had such the short off season, maybe they're just kind of cruising and whatever. And it's like, maybe that's the case, but I'm like, he's averaging like 22 and like just under 9 boards a game. Like a lot of his stats are down from last year.
Well, it's under 10 boards, right?
Yeah,
Shit.
like and then on my fantasy team I have him, and I'm like, I'm like, that guy on my team is a little bit balanced, but I'm like, I was expecting more from him,
for sure.
I would put Kawhi. I would put Kawhi, so those 3 for sure, and then the guards. I think Steph is one. I think Steph is actually, I think is like an MVP candidate. I think what kills him is the record, obviously, but because they're like an 8 seed right now, but. Yeah, he's him for sure, and I might surprise you with the other guard in terms of who I think should start.
Yep.
I would say Donovan Mitchell.
Oh,
I would say Donovan over Luka this year. Over so far. I'm not saying that he's a better player. I'm just saying for this season, I will go with Donovan Mitchell over Luka right now.
So in an MVP talk conversation, if we were having one, you would put Donovan over Luka right now to be MVP right now.
For this season, right now? Yeah, I would. And then too, like you're looking at the Jazz record. I mean, the Jazz is playing great.
Yes, true. Yeah.
What is their record here? Just looking, they're 23-5. They won 19 of the last 20 games. He's
crazy.
I mean, it's a well-rounded effort because Gobert is playing well. Bogdanovich is playing well. Clarkson's playing amazing coming off the bench. Like they're playing really well, but I think he's been playing real nice this year too. I'm just saying in terms of the guards, I would reward that too. They're like the best record in the league. You know what I mean? Like he's playing really well. I would reward that as opposed to. I think Luka's playing well. Luka's doing well, but it's not right now. They're like 10th in the West, and it's. Like, I want to reward a little bit of winning, but plus on top of that, like he's not. Yeah, it's like he's not playing as well as he has been the last, even last year, for example. But he's still gonna be in the All-Star game.
That level was ridiculous, though. Don't keep that in mind. For sure. And don't be wrong, he's gonna be in the All-Star game. But if I had to pick the starter, it would be Stephen, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi, LeBron, and Joker. Okay, that's cool. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Joker's been unbelievable, man. Unbelievable this year. I guess the last thought, like, do you think they should be doing an All-Star game?
No, come on. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, not only is there a pandemic, but you are really doing this. If you're going to do anything, I think maybe if you want to do a 3-point contest and dunk competition, but in terms of anything else, no. You can't have. Why would you have a game? Also, a game itself is dumb in itself, to be honest. But I know for corporate reasons and money, business reasons, sponsorships and whatnot, I understand. So
you're trying to get as much money because not having fans in the arena or like
exactly.
It's like, I mean, you're not spending as much money, you know what I mean, in terms of like concessions and all that stuff, but it's still like it's still a hit, man. It's still a hit.
It
like,
is. I know, and I understand that business side of things, but we're talking about a pandemic.
Yeah, it's funny. A part of me is like, it's weird. Like, I don't actually mind them having the game. I'm like, I don't want, but to me they shouldn't be having anything else. Like, if you're gonna do the game, put those guys kind of like in a real bubble. Because I think too, how the season is so far, they haven't made the schedule for the second half of the year, and then you're gonna have to make up these games that's been postponed and stuff. So I don't know if they're gonna do that first before they set the schedule for the second half of the year. So I'm like, if you're gonna do that, then maybe put these guys in a bubble for a few days and have the game, and then fly them out, and that's it. Like, they just can't leave. If it's, I guess the game's in Atlanta, they can't leave. The hotel or whatever it is they're staying under no circumstances, or have people coming in, and you make it super strict and do it. You could do it, but I'm just like, to me, I'm like, now if you're adding the 3-point contest, like, you're trying to do that all in the same day, it's like, okay, like, we're doing too much now, Just to me, like, if you're gonna do it, just have the game. You know what I mean? Make it very secure. Keep those guys safe, because you don't want an outbreak happening at the game, because now that's affecting at least 15 to 20 teams. You know what I mean? And it's the best players. You know what I mean? So that could be the problem too. But again, like, it's like, if you're gonna do that, just do the game and that's it. Like, don't have anything else.
Well, no, if you're going to me, I hear you, but like, if they're only doing it for the financial reasons.
Oh no, of
right?
course, that's the only reason.
So if you're going to do the game, you might as well do all the other stuff. That's like more money, right? Why not? Like,
I guess.
And you're already there. The player's already there. So it's like, let's have the 3-point Sprite competition and dunk can, whatever, man. So
because apparently they're doing the 3-point shootout before, like, I think, how is it working again? They're doing it before the game starts, and then halftime they're doing the dunk contest. Or something like that. I'm just like, okay, like, it's just, I guess, as I guess the general point both of us have, they're just trying to get to the bag. So that's all this is.
Yeah. We all know that, and the players know that. Because as a fan, I'm older, so it's not really a big deal for me to see a dunk competition, and so from a fan, I don't really care about the game or anything.
Yeah.
The All-Star festivities or nothing. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess on that note, sir, let's wrap this up. But as usual, thank you for hopping on the
for sure
and having this conversation. And I know we spoke about this before, but the annual State of the Raptors address pod that we do pretty much every year. Usually it's around this time, but because of obviously the way the schedule's been and the season and stuff, I want to try to do a little closer to the deadline. So probably next month. Maybe around this time next month we'll get into that one. But lots to talk about. I know Raptors fans out there has been living and dying, and mostly dying with this team this year. It's been a roller coaster ride.
Up and down.
They're playing better though.
Bad. Started off poorly. Had a little bit of a hope or light that they will do well, and they continue to do bad, and now they're doing well.
Yeah.
Well, better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they finally found out like a nice little rotation there.
Yeah.
Finally.
I'm so happy for Boucher, man. I just hope he gets consistent minutes the rest of the year. Cause
you know what? We have no big men, so he will.
Yeah. Well, unless they get your boy Drummond, then then all is solved.
I don't want no parts of Drummond, guy. No punts. No parts of Baines. No parts of Drummond. Alex Len. None of those guys I want. I want no parts.
So you don't want Drummond on the long term? You don't want him on a 3-year deal, brother? You don't want that? Come on, brother. Come on.
Not even at the league minimum. Not even at the league minimum. He's a great guy to have off your bench. Like, to be honest with you, all jokes aside, like, if he was coming off the bench and he would play against matchups like the Embiids and the Jokers, and he doesn't even swat. Not even. Actually, I take that back.
Man, you're reading that high on Drummond at all, are you?
No.
Because if he comes here, he is starting. You do know that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because we do lack a big man. We do lack a rebounding, shot blocking.
He's not
in the paint, bruising type of guy, right? So we lost Gasol and Ibaka, and we didn't replace him with Baines and them. But as you can see, they didn't do a job. They're not good enough to replace even Gasol, who wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
At least Gasol could defend, and he was smart.
Exactly.
When he had the ball, he made plays, man. That's all we want. Is you to make plays. But if you're on the floor, you're not even scoring, making plays, doing nothing. Yeah, guy, you might as well sit down. Go small ball and play zone for the rest of the year.
And it's going to be interesting because even with Drummond, like, he's a big body. He rebounds definitely. He can score, around the basket. Now he's making, he's no way, shape, or form is he Marc Gasol in terms of running an offense. Mm-hmm. But he's better than what he used to be. But then the misnomer is that he plays defense, and he really does it. He's not a great defender, so I don't know if that's going to help with them either. Like I think he's going to drive Nick Nurse nuts defensively. Unless you really work with him.
But he's not smart, man. Those guys, I told you, he's going to go the same route as Whiteside. It's like guys who got a big contract. The game has changed a bit, where his lack of ball IQ, back then it was fine because he was rebounding. It was a big man's game. But now the game has changed. You can't be smart, and it's not only if you can't hit jumpers, you can't hit free throws or anything like that. But if you can't be smart and make the right play at the right time as a big man, you might as well sit down. And you can't shoot, you might as well sit down. He's going to go the same. Now, remember this conversation. He may not go the same path as Whiteside, like where there's nobody and you're getting the minimum. May not be that bad, but it's going to be close to it.
So we'll come back and revisit this. This is recorded, so we'll if that happens, I promise you, I'll clip out the snippet of it, I should say. And,
please do,
and have it on a loop for you.
Yeah, please do, please. By all means, that's how confident I am, because he doesn't fit today's game, man.
Yeah,
doesn't fit today's game. And again, like, you can, like, don't get me wrong, like, you can still be a big man and not be able to shoot, but at least block shots and have a high IQ and be a factor on the floor. Capella is decent. Like, he doesn't shoot thing, but he blocks shots, man. He rebounds. He makes impact when he's on the floor. He sets screens. He rolls. He's fast. Plays defense.
Yeah.
He can still defend the high pick and roll.
Yeah, right? He could do his job in that sense.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything more than that. He's not going to shoot any jumpers or anything like that. But he's efficient. He'll still get minutes. He'll still play like 30 minutes in the game.
Yeah. Sounds like he'll be here. Sounds like he'll be in Tampa, Toronto Bay just now.
Who Drummond?
Yeah, sounds like that's the karma that's working out right now. The way you're saying it, like, yeah, cool. He'll be here in 2 weeks.
Nah, not a chance. Not a chance.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ave Podcast. Special shout out goes out to Julian, a.k.a. Jules Commish, a.k.a. Robin Hood Jules, for hopping on this episode to discuss Tank City. Just so you know, I gave Sacramento a bye for now, but I think they're secretly looking to come back too. Look, they've been living in this city for way too long, but they seem to be making, some efforts to get out. They're like 2 or 3 games out of the playoff spot, or at least the play-in tournament. So I'll let them pass for now. But with that said, thank you once again for tuning in. Tomorrow on the South Shore Ave YouTube channel, a new episode of The Stoop will be out, where I'll be joined by the creators and sisters of the Long and Short of Style fashion blog, Gail and Leslie Thompson, where they're going to be sharing their journey into their fashion passions. So look out for that one tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow on the South Shore Ave YouTube channel. And also let me add, next Friday, February the 26th, the 6th installment of My Story will be released, featuring the University of Maryland track star, Zaria Santiago. Pin that to your calendar as she takes us through the life of a student athlete during a pandemic. That's going to be out as well on February the 26th, so that's next Friday. All right. Rate, review, and subscribe to South Shore Ave wherever you listen to podcasts. And head over to SouthShoreAve.com for the latest and past episodes from my catalog. Once again, that's SouthShoreAve.com. For Julian, a.k.a. Jules Commish, this is Cal C. And you just tuned in to the Ave Podcast on South Shore Ave Radio. Until next time, folks, peace. We out. Have a good weekend.